Hello World Wide Web, welcome back to the Hangin With Web Show. I'm GW Pomisher. Thank you so much for logging on and tuning in. We're coming at you this whole week, the next couple of weeks, from the Artworks O'Galley Fine Arts Festival here in downtown O'Galley, Florida. And we're hanging today with Master Leathersmith Deb Johns. Deb, thanks for coming over and hanging with us.
Thanks for asking me.
All right, Master Leathersmith.
Yes.
Okay, so what's a Master Leathersmith? Okay, we'll start at the beginning. What's a leathersmith?
A leathersmith is somebody that works with leather, that can make things from scratch, and there's all kinds of mediums within that.
I was going to say, now we were looking at your booth there, and we're not just talking about, you know, your average belt. There's some really ornate, cool stuff over there. Which is what happens when you become a master leathersmith.
That is correct.
Okay, so what drew you to working with leather?
I'm sorry?
What drew you into working with leather?
Oh, that's a nice story.
It's an art festival gag. What drew you into working
I get it.
That was see what we did there?
Tongue in cheek, yeah,
there we go. So, working with leather, how did you get pulled into that?
It was actually by accident. I went to the Festival of the Masters, which was at Lake Buena Vista, which is Disney back in the day.
Okay.
And you had to have won a first place to be in that show. And I went with somebody to the show just to go to the show. And I walked right past that booth and the smell hit me. And I stopped, backed up.
And everybody knows what that smells like. Everybody loves that. And you know what? And I don't want to sound overly gender biased, but every guy on the planet, that's the smell. We had them spray our car down with fresh leather smell at the car wash because everybody loves that smell. And you just you just sniffed it in, and that was it for you.
That was it. I was hooked.
You were hooked. Oh, now you work with it all the time, right?
Yeah, I'm entirely self-taught.
Wow.
There's not a whole lot of people that are doing it in Florida. There's a lot more of it out west. And I got into this before the internet and everything, so, you know, there wasn't anybody to learn from.
So you just had to kind of...
So, yeah, there were books at that time, a few books, and I bought every book that was available and went from there. And,
that's fantastic. The show is founded on the principle, create, aspire to great things, and inspire others to great things. And when you're a self-taught artist of any kind, that's what you had to do. You had to create your art from what you wanted.
That is true.
So,
and I also teach now.
You teach it.
I travel the states.
Wow.
And I teach. I go to the leather guilds that are all around. I'm scheduled in Kansas in May and in June in Nebraska and in Wyoming. So I go all over the place.
We got to see, now most people think of their leather work and they think of, you know, even the ornate stuff, they're thinking of, you know, things that are on your belt or your purse or what, those kinds of things. But we were looking around there, you've got some standalone art that is leather work.
I'm a little bit different. I like the figure carving, which is wall art. And you hardly ever see that.
Yeah.
And when you walk by, at first you don't realize what you're looking at, but most people will stop in their tracks because something about it is different. And then the smell hits them and they're like, wow, what is that? And they always ask me, can I touch that?
Oh, wow.
Because it's 3D.
The leather is textured,
like, yes.
That's cool.
So thousands of tools to be able to create that.
Working with leather as a medium, as an artist, it's an unusual medium. And as you said, there's not a lot of people doing it, and particularly in Florida, and sometimes there's more out west. What was the most difficult part about learning to work with leather as a medium?
Learning to dye it. That is the hardest part. It doesn't matter how good your carving is. If your dyeing is not first class, it's not going to look good.
Not going to look right.
Nope.
Yeah.
So, you know, I perfected the carving first, and then you know, old-timey, everything was very traditional in browns and, you know.
No, and when you dye the leather, there is some carving involved. Okay. What's it like to try to carve on leather? It seems to me that would be very. I was watching the big ornate piece you have sitting out front there, which, by the way, for everybody on the World Wide Web, we're going to try to take a picture of that to show you. But it's a very ornate piece, and there's a lot of texture and detail to it.
Yes.
That's an award-winning piece.
Took me 3 weeks to make that piece.
Takes me 3 weeks just to make this show, so that's amazing to me. Now, is very fine detail in carving on leather.
Yes, and the smaller
Too much,
you
and
get,
it's not leather anymore. It's
well,
you know.
and the smaller you get, the more intricate it gets.
Wow.
The better you have to be.
Favorite pieces? You have any favorite pieces?
That right there. That's my best piece so far.
We're going to take a picture of that. That drew our eye immediately. Like before I even knew that you were sitting in the chair, I looked over there. I'm like, wow, that's just, and I couldn't believe it was leather. From here, I couldn't. There's so much color and so much texture, and you didn't really expect that. So we've talked about your artwork. We're going to grab some links from you. She's got paperwork to fill out, all that crazy stuff.
Sure.
We're going to put all those down in the description so that people can know where to find you online, where to find your work, pictures of your work.
Awesome.
Okay, all of that stuff. They can find you on Facebook and stalk you.
I like being stalked.
That's right. Everybody loves a good stalker. Don't take that wrong, Internet. We know how you are. But now we're going to move on. This is a part of the show. I call this part of the show clickbait. Now, if you're on the Internet, you know that you see those headlines every once in a while. It's like, what do your favorite child stars look like now? And you just can't help yourself. You're like, I don't really want to know, but I can't not click. I need a headline like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some of the weirdest questions that the Internet has to offer.
Okay.
And we're going to be able to say that Master Leathersmith Deb Johns said this. And it's and this is going to be our million view headline, right? So, okay, and I told you they were goofy. All right, we're on the Internet. Which is most likely to be true? Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, or aliens?
Aliens, definitely.
Definitely aliens.
Absolutely.
And their skin is too thin. You can't make anything out of it. So
true.
Those guys are not even useful. Bigfoot would be cool. He's got to have that hide, you know.
And it's really big.
Yeah, you can make a lot out of a Bigfoot hide. If you joined the circus, what would you do?
That is hysterical. I have been in a circus.
Oh, okay.
Years ago.
That's it. We're going to stop right there. You've been in the circus. And what did you do?
I rode a trick horse.
You rode a trick horse?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I always thought those were the coolest people. I grew up taking trips with my dad out to Colorado every summer. And we went to it was a little dude ranch style town, like an old western town.
Yeah.
And the trick riders and those were always some of the most fun acts.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
An accomplished horsewoman, obviously.
Yes, at one time.
At one time.
When I was much younger.
Wow. And the circus. You're the only person I've talked to in the chair that actually could say she ran away and joined the circus.
That's exactly right. I tell people that. I'll give them 3 things I'll say, pick which one that you think is true. They never pick that one.
They never pick that one?
Never pick that one.
Really? Wow. Okay, well, you've been in the circus. You are a master leathersmith. 2 things on your bucket list.
Well, New Zealand. Absolutely.
That'll work. If I'm going to go to New Zealand, I have to go to Hobbiton, where they did the Lord of the Rings. They left that there.
Yes.
Yes. It's still there. It's there. It's covered over, but it's there. I want to go there. I don't know why. There's probably no hobbits there because, you know. Okay, what's the other one? You got another one. You get one more thing.
Oh
She's very generous. She gives you a big bucket list.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would like to meet the #1 leathersmith in the world, and that person lives in Australia.
From New Zealand to Australia to meet the #1 master leathersmith in the world. You know what? It's the World Wide Web. Give us a shout out. What's his name?
His name is Peter Mean.
Peter
Maine.
Peter, Maine. We're going to actually throw a link down below so you can see what she's talking about and what she's...
Absolutely.
Again, create, aspire, and inspire. You can see what Deb Johns is aspiring to. And, okay, what's next for you coming down the pipeline? You got more shows going on, more pieces that you're working on?
I have all those places that I'm going to teach, and also in Sheridan, Wyoming, it will be another competition. And that one is the biggest show of the whole year.
Wow.
So I have to come up with something that
completely
knocks
new.
That out of the park.
You got to beat that.
Yes.
Okay, you're your own worst enemy because
Yes.
you've created something over there that's amazing.
I've been accused of that.
And now she's got to outdo herself. She is really, really fast approaching that Master Leathersmith level. I guess we have to wrap it up. We've been going for 10 minutes already, so as I do that, I want to really thank our partners and our friends at Something Unique Magazine, Wordfire Press, Famous Faces and Funnies, Space Coast Comics, Off the Chain Radio with Yvonne Mason, the great folks over at Asylum Convention and Entertainment Services, led by Heather Reed, and of course, our newest partner to the show is the Brevard Renaissance Fair. We're going to spend a week out there with people doing all historical Ren Fair stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So,
I don't know about that.
Guys at the Ren Fair, look, leather work. That's a thing, right? So,
wow.
Okay, so as we wrap it up, remember everybody, I'm GW Pomacher. We have been hanging with Master Leathersmith, Deb Johns. I hope you guys got a chance to see that piece that we spun up for you. Go down below, check out her links, check out where you can find her on Facebook, Twitter, anywhere that she is. Stalk her a little bit, ask her questions about her craft, all of those great things. And just before you do that though, go down and subscribe so you can come back over and over again, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.
Would love to meet you.
Yeah.